Did you know that Georgia has its own language, a world-class cuisine, and has been making wine longer than anyone else on the planet? Believe it or not, it's true. Even though nearly every world empire has lorded over the Republic of Georgia, this tiny nation, straddling the Eurasian border, has managed to maintain its unique identity over thousands of years. Georgia is an emerging democracy and has become a major European tourist hotspot. Having lived in Georgia for 6 years, I developed an adept understanding of the culture and history. Georgia is a tiny nation of 3.7 million people, hidden away in the Caucasus Mountains, but what makes it so special is its fascinating history, unique language, and diverse cuisine. The language and cuisine are outcomes of the country's past, so let us start by talking about the history. Georgia's history predates Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. According to the New World Encyclopedia, Georgia was the second country in history after Armenia to declare itself a Christian state. They've had a tough time. They were ruled by the Greeks, the Macedonians, the Romans, the Persians, the Mongols, the Russians, and the Soviets. Yet they still managed to maintain their historical identity. Even though Georgia was the birthplace of the infamous Joseph Stalin, who ruled the country with an iron grip during the Soviet era, Georgia has still managed to break away from that and become one of Eastern Europe's most successful emerging democracies. One significant historical element of Georgia is its cuisine. Because of Georgia's long winemaking tradition, its Mediterranean climate, and location on the Silk Road, its cuisine is a fusion of world foods. Georgia is known as the cradle of winemaking, and archaeologists have found the oldest winemaking equipment dating back to 8,000 years ago in Georgia. Georgia became a transfer center for spices to be sent from Asia to Europe, and as a result, they figured, why not integrate some of those spices into their cuisine? Georgian food has become so popular that it was actually rated the 4th best in Europe. As Thrillist magazine said in its article entitled All 48 European Countries Ranked by Food/Drink, Georgia sits in the middle of the ancient spice route between Europe and the Middle East and Asia, so the country's dishes are imbued with an incredibly rich and unique use of herbs and spices like cilantro and dried marigold that are used in combinations not seen in the other individual regions, and are layered for bold but balanced dishes. Though Georgian cuisine was heavily influenced by foreigners, its language is purely local. The Georgian people consider their language to be part of their national and personal identity. The Georgian language is unrelated to any other language spoken in the world. The language is one aspect of their history that they have managed to preserve, even though they were conquered by so many other empires. It serves as a symbol of their fierce fight for survival as a people. The Soviet era is an example of this. All preferences for political and professional opportunities were restricted to Russian speakers, and that explains why so many people today in Georgia also speak Russian. Yet, they still managed to preserve their native language, Georgian. As reported in the CIA World Factbook, more than 87% of Georgians speak their native language today. Only 4 million people speak this language, though. And as a result, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, named the Georgian alphabet as an intangible cultural heritage. Now, in case you're wondering what this alphabet looks like, I have an example. This is what my name, Jonathan, looks like, but in Georgian. And as you can tell, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. As I have illustrated, their language is an element of their greater culture. Despite the small size, low population, and the hidden spot in which Georgia lies in this world, it remains a jewel through its long-preserved history, its language unlike any other, and its complex cuisine. And perhaps at the beginning of the talk, you thought I was talking about the state Georgia in the US, but rather, as you realized later on, I was talking about the country Georgia. What a surprise. And I'm very glad to have shared with you this information on this country today. Thank you very much for your time.